Mastering free motion quilting on the Husqvarna Viking Brilliance 75Q is great because you have this machine with so much more space and all the lighting to help you get great stitching. Now, I'm going to show you the fundamentals, so which foot to use, how to set it up, and how to probably do some tension adjustment just to get your stitches looking perfect so you can't tell which side you actually quilted from. It literally can be used from either side. Now, the foot that comes with your machine is the R foot. So this foot slips on and it is considered more of a floating foot, meaning as it comes down, it just kind of hovers around on your fabric. There is an optional foot that is the open toe. I love it because I can see my needle. An open toe spring action foot. And this goes on by actually removing the screw and the ankle and it going and attaching. Once you start to stitch, it actually has kind of a hopping mechanism because the spring loadedness of this helps it so it can hop across your fabric, giving you a more perfect stitch. So this is the one I would opt for, but if you haven't bought this yet, we are going to start with the R foot just so you can get an idea. Start with a straight stitch, and when you go to the editing tab, you will notice there has been a function here. It kind of looks like squiggles, or as I like to call it, a pile of spaghetti. Well, when you touch it, it opens up your free motion category, meaning you get to tell the machine which foot you're using. So the first one, free motion floating, that's the R foot. And the second one, free motion spring action, that's what I was just explaining. And look what the third one is. Third one is your free motion ruler foot. So if you are working with rulers and you are going to be using a ruler foot, it's very similar concept to everything I'm showing you. Is you would actually choose that last one. So let's start with free motion floating. Did you hear something kind of click? On this machine, when you switch over to free motion, it automatically lowers the feed dogs. We saw that also happen when we went to sew on buttons and we picked the button sew on stitch, it lowered the feed dogs for us. So once again, when you need the feed dogs to come back up, you come back in here, turn off free motion, and then take a stitch and they will re-engage. So for right now, let's just go ahead and leave it on. Touch the check mark if you want to get out of that screen, and notice your R foot comes up and then a little bubble there indicating that you can actually adjust the how high it is. So if you go back into free motion, you can actually adjust this to be not so close to the fabric or you want it closer. So that is just something, we're going to just leave it at 1 for right now, but once you see it in action, you'll know what I'm talking about. So the R foot is actually a clip-on foot, so you can just slide it on. There is this little arm part. This part sits in front of the ankle you have on. So just push it on, and as long as you can see the R, you have it correctly. I know I've seen people get this on backwards, and then of course they can't see the R, or read it it looks upside down. So if that's the case, you have it on incorrectly. So free motion quilting is an art. We do recommend some craftsy classes or free motion classes where teachers will teach you the skills of creating all those beautiful shapes and feathers or whatever you want to do. For today, we're working with how to get it to work correctly on the machine and even some adjustments along the way. So a quick little overview is it doesn't matter what the stitch length is because you're in charge of it. Meaning if you go ahead and move the fabric slow and so quickly, you get little teeny tiny stitches. So that's probably not what you're looking for. Vice versa, if you sew slow and move your fabric quickly, here I'll move that out of the way, you'll get long, ginormous stitches. And the idea is you're working to get a nice, happy middle. So what that means to you is moving your hands to relate to the speed of the machine that you're running. So here is just a simple way of doing this. Now I'm kind of off to this side since the camera's in where I normally sit. So we're going to get mostly good looking stitches. Stopping with your needle down is a great feature because then that way you don't lose that last stitch. But practicing how fast or slow you actually are moving, which leads me to a recommendation. So up here where you can adjust the speed of the machine, if you were to drop it down to say half speed, you will find that you might feel like you have cruise control. So for example, I'm going to now step on my foot control all the way down. So think of it like you're flooring your gas pedal in your car. So that's as fast. And what I'm going to do is start to match my hand movement to that speed. Now if that's still a little too fast for you, slow down that speed one more time. I'll do that. All right, here's it's fast. Ooh, that's a nice basic, but sometimes I get going a little too much, meaning the stitches start to get a little too long with this slower speed. So finding that happy bit. Now a reminder, okay, I'm gonna put that speed back to at least halfway. There we go. A reminder, did you notice I was not so much twisting my fabric? The fabric was staying perpendicular to my machine. And so if I want to go this way, I'm pulling the fabric toward me, filling that in, and then moving to that new section. So I'm not trying to drive it, because then that will get awkward. Okay, so that doesn't look too bad. Let's see how things are looking on the underneath side. So not too bad, but I am seeing my top thread being pulled to the back, and I kind of do the scratch test. So I can feel the click, click, click of my top thread on the back. I can even see it because I do have two different colors in the machine, different from the top, and I just have a solid pink on the bottom. So what I'm going to do, and this is traditionally needed, is to tighten the top tension. So as I bring the tension tighter, it's going to pull where these two threads kind of meet to be right meeting in the middle, so in the batting. So when I flip it over, you would be like, huh, did she sew with the pink in her needle, or did she sew with variegated thread in her bobbin, or vice versa? So let's go ahead and take an experiment with adjusting our tension. This is why they recommend that you actually do a little test swatch and see how things are looking. So let's go over here. I said tighten it, so we're going to a bigger number. It started at 4.6, so let's go ahead and go up to let's just do 5.4. That's almost a whole number's worth, and just see if that made a difference. So I actually just broke my top thread. I've rethreaded it and realized that I probably should have also mentioned that top stitch needles are ideal for machine quilting, and I do not have a top stitch needle, and I've just been using the one that I've been using so far. So let me just see how things are looking better. So yes, if you ever are breaking threads, that is something to actually check. Okay, so I am seeing already, I cannot do the scratch test. It is much smoother. I almost can't even tell. I'm seeing a good looking pink stitch on that underneath side, and that would be ideal probably for going forward. So I increased the tension of about a whole number, and that's what you're trying to find, is that sweet spot all the way around. Okay. So this is okay with the free motion, but let's go ahead. I'm going to show you how we switch over to the other foot and why I think once you switch, you're going to like this one a lot more. So you can use the thread cutter. I love doing that. Yes, you can pull the threads to the back and bury them and all that fun stuff, but for today, we're just going to pull that right on out. Now, yes, you're going to need your screwdriver, but have you discovered that Viking actually has, with some of their machines, a magnetic screwdriver? So as you put it onto the screw and give it a little twist, it will hop into the opening and allow you to stay attached to the screw as you pull that off. So that's super easy. When you go to put this on, there is one little part, I'll point it out, this little top part, the spring. This needs to be above the screw that takes your needle in and out. So just make sure that it's sitting above there and it's not underneath it for any accidental reason. This other screwdriver is also a little easier because you can, you have a little bit more grip to turning it, and then just go ahead and give it a nice little tighten there. Another thing we could be using is the straight stitch throat plate. Since this does come with the machine, I would recommend putting that on. That also helps keep your needle nice and centered, and as you're moving the fabric different directions, left, right, diagonal, and all, you'll get a smoother looking stitch for that as well. Let's go back into the machine, switch over to the foot that we are now using, the free motion spring action, close that out, and this is a different enough that you might need to still adjust the tension. So let's just go ahead, we'll do a little bit of the stitching. And now I actually feel that I'm getting my pink thread on top. So that's actually kind of the opposite of what we need. So let's just go back to where we started and just see if that is actually doing it. So why is the hopping method so much better than the floating? What it's doing is as the stitch is being connected with the bobbin thread, there is some pressure of the foot smashing against the fabric, and it helps so the fabric doesn't kind of flag, as it's called, and that means it's kind of popping against the bottom of the foot. So as this being a free floating foot, that the fabric is kind of tapping the bottom, making it kind of a little uneven, where this is a whole nother game point where you can, the foot is connecting. So kind of like having a traditional foot on. Oh my goodness, you know what? I am, with my threads today that I am using, and I do have a different thread in my needle than I have in my bobbin, as in a totally different brand. They are balanced at the regular tension. But don't be afraid that if you see more on the top, you loosen it. If you see more on the back, you tighten it. And if you can't remember which way to go, one's going to make it worse and the other's going to make it better. Just remember to also go up like one whole number. So go from 4.6 to 5.6 or down from 4.6 to 3.6, just to really see the change. One touch of your tension is not enough to actually see it because it changes with such small increments. But that means you can dial it in exactly to get the look that you need. So with a little practice, you can get those stitches to come out even, and now you can work on how to get the pattern that you want for your quilting. All right, happy free motion quilting, everyone. When you're done, make sure that you turn off the free motion feature by touching the blue activated function, undoing the dot. You heard a little click. Those are the feed dogs that will come back up once you take a normal stitch and you're seeing your regular foot back on the machine. Give it a go and have some fun free motioning on your Viking Brilliance 75Q. If this has been helpful, make sure you click like on every video that you watch. And if you want to see more videos from us, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.